Welcome to the Money and Meaning Show. I'm your host, Kanae Corder, National Certified Counselor and the world's #1 clinical hypnotherapist specializing in stress management for healthcare professionals who want to turn a life of stress into a life of meaning and help their patients do the same. Tune in each week. I'll show you how to respond to yourself first. So, are you ready to let go of your stress? Well, let's get into today's show. Welcome, my Prosperos. It's only 2 weeks into the new year, so I think I can still say Happy New Year. Just in case you didn't listen to last week's episode, I suggest you go back and listen to it because it's really good. It's going to help you customize your American dream. But today, part of that American dream, a lot of times, at least with the people I work with, is about making a difference and making money. And one of the things I talked about last week was that many people believe that they have to choose between the two. Like, are you juggling making a difference and making money? Are you burned out trying to juggle these two? Yeah, and I know why. I've seen so many heart-centered, mission-driven professionals, especially my healthcare professionals, get burned out and feel guilty because they can't figure out how to do both of those. Make a difference and making money together seems tricky because society would have us believe that the two are mutually exclusive. So as a mission-driven healthcare professional myself, I've felt that burnout. I've felt that guilt. Yeah, deep. And I learned how to break through that struggle. And that's typically on a normal day-to-day basis, that is what I'm teaching. Now, even if it looks different, if somebody's coming to me for trauma, it really at the bottom, at the end of it, it gets down to them wanting a life of meaning and what their programming is all about. And part of that programming is this idea that if you're heart-centered, then you just need to follow your heart and do something for good and not for both good and money. Yeah, if you're good at something, you should get paid for it and get paid well. If you're out there changing lives, making a difference, transforming, come on. And you're telling me you shouldn't be the one to make money? Is this your belief? It's got to change. It really has to change because society has lied to you. You can do both and you should do both. And I don't use that word often, but you really should. The very, 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 very best thing that you can do for you, your family, your patients, your clients, and the whole world is to embrace wealth. But you've been programmed. You've been programmed to believe certain things. I talked a little bit about it last week. I'm always talking about the programming. And if you listen to this podcast long enough, and if you haven't, go back. The last couple of episodes have been powerful. We talked a lot about this programming and you've been programmed to believe certain things, and that's okay. We all have these beliefs. They get set in place at a very early age. Like, did you know your BS was put in place by the time you were 5 years old? And it's really hard to change your BS after it's been set in place. Oh, and by BS, I mean your belief system. Yes, I know, but your belief system can be full of BS. I'm talking about full of it. So you hear these same statements over and over and over again. So where does it come from? Well, it's because you hear the same statements over and over and over again. And whether they're true or not, you eventually believe them. That's how you get programmed. What statements did you hear growing up? What did you hear over and over and over again? What became your programming? What did you begin to believe? Yeah. See, Gandhi said, your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your values become your destiny. So if your beliefs eventually become your destiny, then if you take control of your beliefs, you then take control of your destiny. Yeah. If you are believing, if you right now, if you believe you can't make a difference and make money at the same time, then the solution would be to change that belief. Sounds easy enough, simple enough, right? But how do you do it? How do you change your beliefs? Today, during the limited time we have together, because this is a podcast. I can't keep you on here forever. I know you got things to do, and I do too. So we only have a limited time together. But today, I want to pour into you. I want to give you the formula for changing your beliefs. And I promise to tell you at the end, if you want to take it further, how you can do that. Because I hate to like start something, dump some stuff on you, and then you're like, oh, shoot, I got half the part of it. I got the beginning and I'm going, but I can't give you the whole thing all at once, right? Because it just doesn't work that way. I don't know about you, but I hate when somebody gives me like 12 steps all at once. Usually only remember like 3 of them. What about you? Maybe you're one of those like robotic people. And let me tell you, I can be robotic. My boyfriend will tell you I'm like very, very literal. My best friend will tell you I am so very literal that it's like, if the program is not written the way you say the thing, I don't even understand it. So I have a very specific way of learning. And because of that, I have a very specific way of teaching. Now, I'm an A student through and through, but it's not because I work really well in society's limited version of education. Please forgive me, teachers. I know it's not you. I know it is what they teach you to do. But education is limited, but they have to teach a big group of people all at once. And so they have to do it a certain way. Well, I don't fall into learning that way. So I've always made my own way of learning and not always have had my own way of teaching. But my friends appreciated it because I was in elementary school, and in Chicago, we call it grammar school. So elementary school and in high school, I would teach my friends what the teacher was trying to teach them. And so I'm really good at teaching because I can simplify something that can be more complex. And changing your beliefs is pretty complex. But the good news is you're on your way to accomplishing the very first step. Because if you listen to last week's episode, we talk about like awareness, like admitting, just saying, you know what, I have been programmed. So we identify. That's step 1 is identify. Identify that there was programming. Now there's 2 other steps. And most of you know who I am and what I do, but I just want to give you a little bit more background if you don't know. So you know I'm a national certified counselor, and you know I'm the world's #1 financial hypnotherapist. And I'm going to introduce those other 2 steps to you, but I just want to introduce you to me a little bit more, especially the 2021 version of me. Is that okay? And then after I introduce myself, introduce those 2 other steps, and I'm going to drill down into step 1 more too. Then what I'm going to do is tell you, if you want to take it further, what you can do. You know, our company is called Presidential Lifestyle. I'm the CEO of the company, and we are a tech-enabled wellness company focused on wealth in all of its forms. Now, I'm breaking this down because sometimes people say, I can't articulate exactly what you do, Kanae. And that's my fault. I probably talk so much that I didn't get to narrow the words for you. And that's what I want to do, is make sure you understand who I am, what I do, what I can do with you, and how we can do it together, how we can journey together. So I want to make that really clear. You may remember me all the way from when I was on the Oprah show or when I was on Extreme Makeover, ABC's Extreme Makeover show. And I was also a Morgan Stanley financial advisor at one time. And during that time, I realized that professionals needed help with more than just stock picks and numbers. There was programming that caused anxiety, trauma, and even depression, and that kept them from executing on the beautiful financial plans that I would create for them. And that's when I made the shift to therapy, because I said, wow, I've got to do something about this. And since then, I've spoken on stages with Les Brown, Damon John, and other well-known speakers. I've also worked with celebrities, politicians, and CEOs, helping them break through the blocks, keeping them from executing on what I call their money mission. That work is very rewarding. That is my money mission. So there's more about me, but I'm going to drop it in over the next couple episodes because I feel like if you are really going to spend time with me, then I really want you to know me and who I am. I really do want to know you too. And I'll tell you at the end how you can tell me more about you because that's important to me. You're important to me. Let's get back to you creating your money mission so you can make a difference and make money. So remember I said the first step was identify. Identify that you have BS, a belief system that might be full of BS. Identify that you've been programmed. Like really identify what it is. Remember some of those statements that you heard growing up. What were they? How did they affect you? Did you believe that money doesn't grow on trees? Of course, money doesn't actually grow on trees, but do you believe what they're trying to say there? That money is not easy to come at. It's not just growing on trees. You got to work hard. You heard that before? Did you hear she works hard for the money, right? Or money can't buy happiness. Money can't buy love. The love of money is the root of all evil. There's so many different statements. Which ones did you hear? And how did they shape you? So that's what you first have to identify. Identify your programming, your belief system. What do you believe? Do you believe that you can't make a difference and make money? You probably do. That's why you're still searching for meaning in your life. But you can have meaning and money. And I'm going to show you how to turn your meaning into money and your money into meaning. And here's a couple of first steps. So I call this the first step, but this first step is broken down into 3 parts. It's identify. And then the second part is intention setting. So what do you want? I mean, like, what do you really want? And what will it take to get there? You got to look first. And I talked about this last week about looking at that big picture. What do you want that life to look like? What are you intending? So put that intention out there. Know what it feels like. How does it feel to be prosperous? How does it feel to make a difference and make money at the same time? And you might say, well, Kanae, I never felt it, so I don't know. Yeah, you do. Imagine last week, if you listened to last week's episode, I told you how you could do that. I told you how you can imagine. So go ahead if you didn't listen to it and listen again. If you did listen to it and you don't remember, listen again. If you did listen to it and you do remember, do it right now. Go ahead. Let your mind run wild and just set that intention. And when I say set it, I mean declare it. Just make it yours. This is my intention. This is the life that I deserve and desire. What do you want? Get really clear on that, but also get clear on the feeling that goes along with that. And we're going to talk some more about that, not next week, but the following week. We'll talk a little bit about it next week, but the following week, we'll talk about it even more when we have Natalie Ledwell from My Movies here. And she's going to tell us how we can make a movie that's ours, customized. Like we talked about last week, customizing your American dream. That's what's going to happen. We're going to customize your American dream. We're going to make a movie about it. You're going to produce and direct this movie. It's yours. And you're going to set an intention so you can remember, what does it feel like? Yeah. What are the stories that you're telling yourself though? What are the stories that are getting in the way? Going back to step 1, identify. What are those stories? Let those stories go. Because how do you feel about those stories right now? I want you to be clear on that feeling. You need to be clear on 2 feelings. The feeling you have now, that frustration, that burnout, that doubt, the fear, whatever those feelings are, right? You don't necessarily want to feel that. I know you don't. And then what is the feeling you do want to feel though? What do you want? Maybe that's comfort, that's peace, that is joy, gratitude, freedom. So you want to go from burnout, frustrated, overwhelmed, heartbroken, guilty, stressed out, like whatever those words are that you've been saying when you complain about your work. You want to go from there to grateful and peaceful and joyous, comfortable, excited, free, that freedom, right? You want to feel that freedom. It's your idea of prosperity. So you give it a name. I'm just giving you some examples, but you've got to first name it. And then that brings me to step 3, which is tame it. Yeah. And you got to name it first. You got to identify it. You got to know the stories that you've been telling yourself. Really get down deep into what that name is. Name that feeling, whether it's the feeling you have now or the feeling you want in the future. And then you tame it. You tame your brain and you really train your brain, because you will revert. You'll revert back to your old ways. You'll revert back to your old American dream programming. You will. If you don't have a tribe around you, we talked about that last week. If you don't have a tribe around you, keeping you on the path to prosperity. So you need to train your brain, because your brain likes familiar and it will go towards familiar. That's just the way the brain works. Don't judge the brain. It's just the way it works. Familiar, the brain sees familiar as good and it sees unfamiliar as bad. So it will continue to go backwards and do the same thing, expecting a different result. It will do that. Why? It's not the definition of insanity. It's the definition of humanity. We all do it. But your brain can be trained. It can be reprogrammed. And it can be reprogrammed in 2 ways: time and repetition, and a catastrophic event. Now, time and repetition is the way you learned your ABCs. ABC, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We talked about this a couple of episodes ago. And then catastrophic event is like, I told you how you might have eaten something 1,000 times. You eat it this time, you got sick, and you never wanted that thing again. Well, that is the catastrophic event. But there are more gentle ways to have a catastrophic event. You can plan sort of your catastrophic event, because usually catastrophic events are not planned. They like come at you fast and hard, and immediately your brain is different. It changes immediately. Now that can be good or bad. That can have a negative effect on you and change you in a negative way, or that catastrophic event can change you in a positive way. Like sometimes at catastrophic events, people change on their deathbed. They're like, I gotta be a different person. One of the stories I tell a lot is Carnegie, or you might know the Carnegie halls and libraries and the universities and just all the hall, the Carnegie Hall, all the buildings and the things he put in place. He did that after having a catastrophic event, like a midlife crisis, where he felt like he needed to make a change. So the catastrophic event can be harsh or it can be gentle. And if you plan your catastrophic event, like getting into a program like mine, where you can make a big shift in a short amount of time and you have a guide with you, so it's not as painful, that can be a very rewarding catastrophic event. But before you do that, I'd like to take you back to step 1. Remember, I said I really want to drill down deep into step 1, so you can really get clear on the stories that you've been telling yourself. And the way that you do that is we're going to look mostly at your money story. What is your money history? What stories have you been telling yourself about your money history? Now, I'll talk to you about embracing wealth. And we're doing the Embracing Wealth Masterclass again. I think it's next week. It might be in a couple of days, depending upon when you listen to this episode. So the Embracing Wealth Masterclass will help you break through the blocks that keep you from believing that you can make a difference and make money. And it's all around your earning and how you earn and the story that you've been telling yourself around earning. But what if you just started by knowing your money mentality? Your money mentality is a story too. Now, let's see. I think it was on the last episode of last year, I broke down all the different money mentalities, the different money personalities, and there's 7. And you need to know which one you are, because did you know that you've been using money to get love? Yeah. And there's a story there, and there's a reason why you do it. And when you first just start by learning your money mentality, you're going to figure out how you've been using money to get love. Whether you're a spender or a saver, whether you're what I call enthusiast, the one who buys the bar, let's like make sure everybody has a good time, whether you are a blamer or who never takes responsibility for their own money challenges or mistakes. There is the hero that takes responsibility for everybody's money problems, money problems and mistakes. Then there is the artist, and the artist has a love-hate relationship with money. They really love money, but they don't want anybody to know, so they pretend like they hate it and they just don't want to talk about it. And then there's the president, and the president is a harmonious money mentality. They can do all the things. They can navigate the money cycle with grace and ease. And that's where you should be. That's where you want to be. I know you do. You want to navigate the money cycle with grace and ease. And if this is like your first time listening, you don't know, or I want to remind you that the money cycle is earn, grow, protect, gift, and enjoy your money. And how you navigate that money cycle is going to determine your lifestyle. But you can make money and make a difference. Now, I just walked you through exactly how you do that. And I was flowing and and throwing everything out there. So if I went really fast, then I encourage you to go back. The other thing I encourage you to do is share this with someone else. Why? Because don't do it on your own. Now, of course, I encourage you to join me in the masterclass. The link will be in the show notes. Join the masterclass. I just really want you to understand how important it is to embrace wealth. It is the best thing that you can do for yourself. And the reason why I say that is because when you embrace wealth, you open it up for you to do more in the world. You know how you're burnt out and you really don't have much left for the people you love, for even yourself? Yeah. So go to presidentiallifestyle.com/masterclass, presidentiallifestyle.com/masterclass, and register for the Embracing Wealth Masterclass. Now you may say, oh, I'm not ready for a masterclass, but I would like to take that quiz. Okay, we'll do that. Go to presidentiallifestyle.com/quiz, presidentiallifestyle.com/quiz, and take the quiz. And if you take the quiz, I'm going to ask you at the end if you want to take the masterclass, because then you might be ready then. But I say, join the masterclass. It's free. Both of those are free. And you and I can get a chance to hang out together. And remember, I told you I would tell you at the end what you could do next to take this further. So you know to identify that you have programming. And you've been doing that. If you listened to last week's episode, you already were on your way to doing that. And then you are setting an intention, intention setting, really knowing what that feeling is. And then you are taming it. You're taming your brain through time and repetition, or a catastrophic event, which we'll do a gentle catastrophic event, and you can plan to join even just the first step, the money mentality quiz. That's how you take this work further. You keep going. You take what you learned so far here and you keep going. So there's also the Embracing Wealth Masterclass. And to me, I pour into you for like an hour and a half. And at the end of that, everybody who's taken it so far some of these people who have taken this so far have been with me for months. Like they've actually worked with me one-on-one, and they've taken the Embracing Wealth Masterclass and they still got something out of it. One of the things that it's like a big pet peeve of mine is when I take a course and they're not saying anything new. It's like, oh, you said this on Instagram already. Is this all you got? Like, I just paid for this course for you to tell me what you already told me on Instagram? No. So I'm telling you that people who have been with me for months still got something out of this masterclass. I have a ton of content and information. What I put on Instagram and here on this free podcast is nothing compared to what I give my paid members and patients. I pour into you. I am giving you groundbreaking, like transformational breakthrough techniques that take your life to a whole nother level. I did it for myself. I do it for the people closer to me, my friends and family, for free, basically. But I also do it for you. And no, it's not free, because it is life-changing. Are you going to do surgery for free? Right? Are you going to change somebody's whole entire life for free. You could. In fact, that's why I do this work, because eventually I want to get to a place where I could just travel the world and do this for free. That is my ultimate goal. You may have heard me say that before. That is my ultimate goal, to do this enough. That's my money mission, to create enough wealth so that I can just do this work for free. And then you and I, the wealthy, heart-centered, mission-driven people, you and I, we can change this world. You have a heart to serve. So do I. I'm going to serve you. You're going to serve your patients, your clients, your people. And then together, we're going to transform this world into a healthier, happier, wealthier place. It is no reason for anybody to be poor or in poverty or broke, especially broke, because broke is a mindset. And I'm going to help you shift that mindset. But more importantly, I'm going to shift your life set. It's all about your life. Set your life to wealthy. And that's all I am going to say about that, because that has been our show for today. You have been an awesome prosperity pro. Like taking all this information in, taking my beating as I kind of give you a little spanking there. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for allowing me to pour into you. Come back next week. Next week, we're going to be with Emily Fletcher. We're going to be learning about meditation. If that was part of your resolutions, I hope you didn't make resolutions. I hope you made evolutions like we do here at Presidential Lifestyle. Evolve into the person you would like to be. Anyway, I'm going to talk about that more in February, but evolve. And if you've been saying that meditation isn't for you, I'm going to be here next week. I want to challenge you on that. All right. We're going to have some fun. You'll see me hang out with one of my friends. I get so silly. You know how I can get silly sometimes when I'm with Emily Fletcher, though. Emily Fletcher and I, because we both have that like entertainment actor background, we just go silly. We go straight silly. We get childlike. Yeah. That's Emily Fletcher and I. And you're like, what? Why is she saying Emily Fletcher? That's her friend. The inside joke, and I talk about it in next week's episode. It's an inside joke, but I love this girl, and you'll love her too. And you'll love how she teaches meditation and how she simplifies it. And you're going to be open to meditating if you're not already. And if you are meditating, it's going to take your meditation to a whole nother level. So I'll see you next week. Have a prosperous week, my Prosperos. Thanks for listening all the way to the end, my Prosperity Pro. I want to stay connected with you. Here are 4 ways. Pick the one that works best for you if you want to stay connected with me. 1, if you have any questions, I'd love to answer them. Send them to podcast@presidentiallifestyle.com. I'd love it if you would make a 1 or 2 minute audio message and attach it to an email. That'd be the easiest way for me to get it. Ask me anything about creating a life of meaning over money, and I'll get you an answer. Remember, the email address is podcast@presidentiallifestyle.com. 2, subscribe to this podcast and share it with your friends, because you guys might want to have a discussion about it, especially if they're a CEO who wants to shift from the old American dream to a life of meaning. 3, we try not to have any sponsors on this show unless they are truly in line with our values. I mean, really a good fit. So that means we fund this podcast ourselves. I'd like you to take a look at our resource page to see if there's any products or services that we recommend that are right for you. If not, no worries, maybe later. If so, please use our affiliate link to purchase. Thank you in advance for doing that. You are such an amazing person. Okay, 4 and last. If you want to know what's happening over here at Presidential Lifestyle and you want us to email you the update, then go to presidentiallifestyle.com/blog/now. And you'll see the current updated blog for the week, but you'll also see a link to subscribe to that blog. We can email it to you if you like. That's presidentiallifestyle.com/blog/now. Don't worry, you don't have to remember that link or any links. They're all in the show notes. Oh, and I forgot to say, if you're enjoying this podcast, go ahead and leave us a review. and tell us how much you're enjoying it. And now for the legalese. This podcast is not to replace professional counsel. The best advice is from a professional who knows you and your specific situation. The topics discussed in this podcast are general in nature and for informational or entertainment purposes only. We encourage you to meet with a professional that you can discuss your specific situation with. Whether you choose us or someone else, one-on-one counsel is important, whether it's a financial, therapeutic, legal, or other decision. So that's all for now. I'll see you next episode. And remember, you can have wealth in all of its forms. Believe it, and you'll soon see it.